70mm projector, I can show you.
Hiya, welcome back to the channel. So we are here again. We have an E46 in front of us and I'm fucking about the headlights. And the reason is because if we look at this here, we put new lenses on them, they're nice and shiny. But if you look at that side, there is a difference, and that is because I have fitted one of these lovely high-quality projector units, which are only about 20 quid on eBay for a pair. I'll just demonstrate how they function because you've got the projector for the dip beam, but also it's got a little solenoid in it which opens up, so when you put main beam on, you get that one and that one as main beam. As you can see, so this video I'm going to try and show you how to make that side like that side. And before you even start on this side, you're probably going to want to take the washer bottle out because it is properly going to be in your way. But it comes out quite easily. Yes. So with that out of the way, we can go ahead and take this lens off, which I showed in a video a few weeks ago, but you probably won't have seen it because nobody actually watched it. And the first thing to do is to undo, there's a Phillips screw down there which just needs undoing a couple of turns, and then when that is undone a couple of turns, you can remove your indicator, which was brand new a couple of weeks ago.
Brand new shit, need a brand new plumber. I'ma be her brand new.
And then once that is out of the way, you take this panel off, it clips in and lovingly pulls out like that. And then you just pull this off. It comes out in a similar manner, it just clips in. Be nice and careful with it. Like so. And then you can remove the lens. Now if you want to see this in more detail, then watch the video on changing the lenses, which shows it in slightly more detail, but not very much more detail. That isn't meant to come off with the lens. So then we can remove the Auxito bulb that we put in a while ago and take it from that fitting into that fitting, which is the main beam, like so. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is to fit this, but before we fit it we want to build it up. So this, take note of which way up this goes, because obviously if you have it upside down then your beam's going to be upside down. This goes onto here, which mine didn't come with any screws to do that, so I've just got some Phillips screws to, well, it's actually posi drive, but it don't matter, they're just self tappers. And now that is all one piece. Next thing we need to do is undo these screws on here because this is in the way of putting it into the car. So now that needs to come off because that is the next thing that's in the way. And then next you've got a rubber johnny that needs to go on here, like so. And then next, this needs to go in there, something like that. Obviously the right way up and everything, you need to get that wire through. And this is the fun bit because this thread here, this bit, is sort of just about not long enough to make it easy. For the wire, I'm just going to put a little nick there for it to sneak up the side. And for what difference it makes, you probably don't actually have to do that if you don't want to drill your headlight, but you sort of need all the help you can get. We're getting the nut on this afterwards. So I'm going to feed that through there nice, and as you can see, this is probably the most frustrating thing in the world. Yes. And then once you've got that through there, getting this nut, the thread to start on there, that's really good fun. The wires, like I said, I've nicked a little bit out the headlight for them to fit up the side. You might be better off just drilling a hole in the light and putting them completely separate. So now you need to tighten this up to a point where it is actually tight, and then you can put this back on. And then once you've done that, you've actually finished inside here, so you can give it a wipe down with one of them micropenis cloths and well, just put it back together. And now that is all back together, we need to make it work. So we need to put a bulb in there, which is now converted to a H1, so I have gone for some Auxito H1. And I've gone for ones with flying leads like that because I need to plug them into this. I need to take that off there first. Which leaves us with that. So let's put the bulb in the headlight. So this little collar slides off. And this little spring needs putting on. And I had to do that off camera because I needed both hands to do it, but you can see how it goes. And then that bulb just pushes in. And it's on O-ring, so it just fits into that fitting there. So let's connect it up. Which does require cutting the spade connectors down a little bit to fit into here. And then on mine, I've just pushed it into this plug. You could cut and join them properly if you wanted to, but I want to be able to put it back to standard if I choose to. I probably won't, but if I choose to, I want that option. Black goes to brown, and that's the same for all of these. The negative is the brown on the car. And I've just used a bit of tape and hidden it down there to make it look completely OEM. And then the only thing I've got left to do is to join this into here, into the main beam. This is what opens the shutter inside the lens to turn this one also into main beam. Now obviously that is just about not long enough to reach where I want it to, so I need to lengthen them wires first. Yes. Now obviously normally I would use soldering heat shrink, but I dropped the soldering iron yesterday and now it's fucked. So Scotch locks it is. Yes. Now I am aware that this is a rough way of doing it. You don't have to do it this way, just showing what to wire it to basically. But it's nothing a bit of poorly applied self-amalgamating tape won't fix. So that's pretty much done. So let's put that shitter back in, which hides most of the monstrosity anyway. And then let's wait for it to go dark and go and test them. And darkness has now happened, so let's turn on the lights and we can see that they do in fact light. If we do look, we can see, well, that the spread of the beam seems pretty good and quite uniform. They're not the brightest headlights I've ever had, but if we look up there, the beam pattern is pretty crisp, as you would expect, projector style headlights. And if you put main beam on, they do get pretty bright then. So if I just turn around, and put main beam on, yeah, main beam is actually really bright. But the thing that you use most of the time is going to be a dip beam, which compared to standard headlights is night and day better. Like I said, it's not horrendously bright. They're pretty nice smooth beam actually, and well, as you can see as I'm going around here, not bad at all. Put main beam on, then it does get horrendously bright. So I think that shows enough really. What more can you show about it? It's some headlights working at night. I think that's all for this one, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the usual shit, and I'll see you next time.